Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Content Cap, the show where I sit in my living room and recap some of my favourite and the best content that I've seen over the last few weeks. Whether it's videos, photos, dance, art, any kind of creation, I want to show it some love and give it some recognition and talk about it on this show. So the first piece of content we're going to be looking at is from an Instagram called The New Habit Studio. As you can see here, they've got these cool 2020 animations. I'm guessing they've made them on After Effects or some kind of software like that. What I love about these is that they just caught my eye. So obviously on Instagram, you're scrolling all the time. It's really easy to miss things. There's something about these logos that just caught my eye. And I actually thought they were photos to begin with. But if you look closer, they're moving, they're changing from 2020 to 2021. Turn your volume up and you'll hear the little sound effects that they've added. It's all kind of very minimalistic, very simple. It's just a really cool piece of content. It's clever. And then obviously you've got the message in there about the environment. Obviously with any content, it's good to make it look cool and make it colourful and vibrant and get everyone talking about it. But I think the best way to do that and the most important thing is the message and the story. And here they've done that with the environment. Each animation has a different scenario. One is the sea levels rising, one you've got the ice caps melting, and then you've also got deforestation. Super important topics with our environment, what we're doing to the earth going into 2021. So for the second piece of content we're looking at, it's from the Formula One Instagram page, and it's about Lewis Hamilton winning his 7th championship. Crazy achievement, and they've followed that with an amazing piece of content here.
Lewis Hamilton, the man from Stevenage, champion of the world!
Still proof that a dream is more powerful than history.
They make contact!
It's like a short form Instagram ad, but then they've also got the documentary feel to it. It has that whole storytelling aspect of what he's done and what he's accomplished. It's also got the emotion in there. It's clever, the way they've filmed it, the way they've used all the archive footage. What's really clever that I noticed straight away as a filmmaker or a video person is they've used this kind of locked stabilize effect. If you don't know what that is, have a look at the video. You'll see that the helmet is centered throughout the whole video. Made this video using archive, so it's just a different way of putting your own spin on it. And I think it really pulls the audience into the video. I mean, it caught my eye anyway. And yeah, to be honest, it's just got everything. You fully understand the journey that Lewis has had throughout his career, and it's almost emotional, to be honest. And not to mention that last shot where he's standing on the car. I'm guessing it's a GoPro that they've used, but it just works so well because the whole video, it's moving. You've got following all the car, following his movement, and then they've used a static shot to finish it off.
Still we rise, guys. Still we rise.
What a final shot. And finally, for the third piece of content, we're talking to Adam Southwell. He's a good mate of mine. I've never actually met him. We've always just talked online, but I'm going to Zoom call him now and we're going to talk about a film that he's recently made. So yeah, let's get straight in there. Let's head on Zoom.
This is the most extra Zoom I've done in the past 9 months.
So my brother actually went to uni with Adam. Is that right? You went to uni together?
Yes, yeah.
And you were probably the first person that I came across as like a young guy looking to get into filming, looking to get into that. My brother was just like, just check this guy out. He's done a video for us. So I had a little watch, and then since then I followed you. Loved all your work. As I said, unfortunately we haven't actually met yet, but hopefully that day will come.
Yeah, I rewatched that video that I did for your brother the other day, and I was just like, wow, that is so shit. Regard, like, you just look at things now and just like, wow, someone paid me to do that. But I mean, at the time, it was like, wow, this is great.
How would you describe what you do so these guys get an idea?
I would describe myself as a content creator, but not the type that calls himself a content creator and gets paid to make things for brands. Like, I'm not an influencer, nothing like that. I actually just create content for companies. It happens to be primarily in sport and fitness. So yeah, and then it's basically anything visual, really. So primarily it's videography, but a lot of photography, little bits of graphic design, and the output is 9.5 out of 10 times for social media.
Obviously, one of your most recent films that you've made, which I saw, I don't want to get this right, it's Write Your Future, yeah? Right,
yeah,
the future,
correct.
Your future, the future.
Write Your Future. We'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I basically just want to talk, first of all, like how did this film come about? Like, what was the birth of the film?
The gym that I created that for, PC Fitness, where I live, is like a small family-run independent at the gym, and I started working with them when I first moved home. They were like my first proper client, like on paper. Typically, January, as we all know, everyone starts this craze of new year, new me, and every year we do, the same kind of thing of, right, here's an offer, we'll say it's like £10 joining thing or whatever, and clients come. This year, with the pandemic and everything that's going on, we were like, well, I'm not going to be open in January. My office is like 5 seconds away from the gym, so I had this idea one day, and I went over and I had like loads of coffee. I was like, mate, I've got this idea in my head, right? I was like, there's like a drone at the beginning, and it's like following you in, and then over the top it's like Boris Johnson, like blocking the country down, and then like the gate closes, and he's like, right, that sounds really ambitious though. Like, he's like, that sounds like a film.
That's
I was like,
film,
yeah, I know, how sick is it, right? And we just wanted to kind of create this emotive piece of film. And to be honest, it was perhaps a bit self-indulgent of me, because I've not made a film since graduating university.
Yeah.
Like actually writing down, right, this is a shot list.
Yeah.
This is the lighting I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We need an actor for this. We need a member for this. I actually don't do things like that. I never really have a huge plan as to what I'm doing. So it was a bit self-indulgent, but it really was about, let's look back over the year. So looking back over 2020, and the whole kind of tagline of the video is writing your future. And no, you know what? 2020 was not your year, but 2021 can be.
Really interesting that you were talking about kind of changing it up a bit. Like, it's kind of a film that you haven't, like you say, planned in such preparation, done all those bits that you don't normally do that. How did you find that? Was that super hard? Are you glad you've kind of gone out your comfort zone and changed it up a bit and made something that isn't just for like a short, quick ad kind of thing?
I've become perhaps a bit disconnected from like film and art. Like, I was always massive into film before I went to university. Like, I wanted to work in film and television before social media was an option as a career. I think in that respect, for me personally, I loved it, and I loved the process of sitting with an actual client. And it was quite nice actually that they didn't immediately jump at it. It made me go, okay, normally they just say yes to everything I say.
Yeah.
So it was good to have that of like, okay, you don't quite like that, so I'm going to have to draw this up as a storyboard and plan all those things. It's nice because it was a slight bit of a throwback to what I'd originally always loved. Like, it felt like I was a student again and doing it for fun, not for money.
Yeah. Was it a one-man band thing where you're shooting it on your own? Did you have anyone helping you? Or
Miserable guy. I hate working with other people if I can avoid it. Only because I always think there's very few people in this world who will work as hard as you do. That's only through experience. There's been a few times where I've asked people to come with me on shoots, and they've just let me down massively. And when you have a paying client, it's very hard. It is on me, but in terms of the collaboration, it definitely is there, because Mike, I work with at the gym, and I think he knows the customers really well. And we're not just targeting 18-year-old Gymshark lovers, we're targeting the 50-year-olds who are on social media. You kind of have to balance a lot of things up. So there was a lot of collaboration, definitely. It wasn't just me at all.
Obviously, looking like some of the shots you got are insane. Obviously, you've got the one with the guy with the crutches going up the hill, and all these different kind of locations. And anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm going to link it and put it in the video. But like, it's not just in the gym, is it? It's not just like purely shots people put with a personal trainer. It's like all these different locations. So I'm just interested to know, what kind of challenges you faced.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest one was lockdown. I feel like filmmaking and photography and anything creative at the moment just falls into just such a grey area of you have to make your own decision in what you're doing. But it did get to a point I was like, well, I'm not getting any support from government, and the guidelines say, you should work from home if you can. Well, I can't make a video in the comfort of my own home, so I have to go out for work. So
I don't know, mate. I'm doing it pretty well today, so you should.
Although apparently you can.
All you need is a massive plan and a big backdrop, and you're sorted.
If you have energy like you.
Yeah.
A lot of it was because so much of it was shot out on locations. It was the weather. Tom doing like pull-ups on a goalpost. We wanted that to look miserable and moody, and it was by pure luck that it was the perfect crappy weather that we wanted. Challenges. I think the challenges were not being able to put in as much as I wanted to. There's so many shots that we didn't use, and you're just like, I want to use it all. It's a promotional film at the end of the day. We wanted it to look like a Nike Under Armour commercial. That's what it is. You have to think, right, well, we need to have a female in there. We need to have a male in there. We want to show that we're an all abilities welcome gym. So the things we didn't put in was like, well, because there's no room for it. It's not because it's a bad shot.
Yes.
So no, I don't think there are any changes.
Obviously, I mean, I'm sat in here, haven't got the best gear. I'm just whatever, little microphone, little camera here, but I don't really like talking about gear too much. But roughly, like, what were you using?
This is literally the camera that I use. That was in the day now. So it's, if you remove all the bits of plastic and metal, it's the Blackmagic 6K. We literally use this all handheld the entire time. We only use this, and we only use one lens, and that's 17 to 35, 2.8. Lighting wise, we did use bits in the gym, but we use an Aperture 120D, so quite a substantial light.
Yeah.
You know, I think for what it is, it's not a huge price point, so we use that. And the best piece of kit that we bought that everyone should go out and buy is a £40 smoke machine from Amazon.
Nice.
That literally changed my opinion on like lighting and everything. Like, I am someone who, if I can avoid lighting, I will avoid it, because it is someone else. That is a proper job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And adding in smoke just somehow made everything look better.
Yeah.
I think I showed, because Mike was like, why have you got this? You don't need this. I was like, no, trust me. So I think as well, when you look at films or music videos, it's in everything. I'm a big advocate of using whatever you have. Like, yeah, there's no dancing around it. At some point, you need money to buy nice kit. But I like to think also, it's like, well, in those 5 years though, I've done a lot of cool things and made like a video like that with very limited kit. Do you know what I mean? So if you can only afford one camera, then that one camera will do the job.
I'm personally, mate, you're probably going to hate this, but I actually weirdly prefer all the behind the scenes you've been posting, all the little videos, all the cinematograph.
Like, yeah, I'm not bothered about that.
I love all that. I'm a big fan of behind the scenes kind of stuff. Like, I'm trying to do my own kind of behind the scenes stuff all the time, trying to remember to take a photo of you getting the shot or whatever. But yeah, some of the stuff you've been putting out there is really cool.
It's such a big thing of like, I went to university and I did a master's, and I probably learned 20% of what I do through that master's. You know, I'm glad I did it, but I don't think it taught me how I do what I do now. Everything I've learned on YouTube. I think it's good to show that, and I think for me as well, like I said, I'm a huge advocate that kit is not everything. I like showing people that these shots that you think are super complicated or massive things, a lot of the time it's either luck or, yeah, you know what, I'll just bodge it. Like, I'm the world's biggest bodger. Like, I will find a problem, I'm like, right, well, we just have to bodge it and post, won't we?
Love it.
Because I don't have a team of 4 people, because I refuse to work with 4 people.
Yeah, of course.
So something's going to go wrong. So you work things out, and it's like, well, what have you got? And how can you make that work? And I think the behind the scenes stuff actually surprises people. Yeah. They go, oh, is that it?
Yeah, definitely. I also want to just add to that. I think like learning on YouTube, what I've found recently is kind of just having patience, like going on a video, wanting to learn whatever it is, how to add smoke to a video. I find myself skipping through it, like, where's the secret? Where is it? Where does he tell me exactly what I need to do to get that thing? And like recently I've just been like, right, a 20-minute video, I'm going to sit and watch the whole thing, have the patience, have the, do you know what I mean, the drive to learn it, and then that's it. That's all it is. And then, like you say, if you went to uni, they'd say you need to buy a smoke machine, you need to hire a smoke machine.
I'm exactly the same. My patience is nothing. Like, I do the exact same thing. I'm like, well, where's the preset? Like, whereas if cut to me 10 years ago, the patience I had was incredible. I would follow an After Effects tutorial for an hour, step by step. I remember learning how to do motion tracking, but how do you put text in the video? Not on top of the video, I want it in the video. Yeah. I remember learning that and thinking like, oh my God, this has blown my mind. And the sense of achievement you get from being like,
100%.
I put that text in behind that car and someone walked in front of it. And then like, your mates are just like, right, and I'm like, that's a big deal.
To kind of round this up, I kind of just want to, have you got any one piece of advice you'd give to someone looking to get into anything creative, not necessarily video or photo, like anything kind of, something that they kind of have a passion about? What would be your like kind of one piece of advice? That's a big question.
That's a big question. I think you've got to just be 100% driven. Well, 6 years difference between you and me. That 6 years is huge. You know, you're my competition. Like, it's just a fact of the matter. You know, you're younger, you're more driven, you're in the capital, and then that's not just you. There's like thousands of other kids like you. So if you're not driven, driven can be driven to find clients, driven to communicate with people, driven to be active on social media. And I just think if you're driven, people recognise it 100%. I don't want to be remembered for the people I've worked with or the work I've created particularly. I want to be remembered for like working my arse off.
Sick, mate. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today, and I love the Write Your Future film. Like, you see a lot of things in January, like obviously a lot of different types of content coming in for the new year. It was different. I love the kind of documentary aspect about it.
It's obviously not in terms of the scale of the client, the biggest client I've worked with, but it's probably my favourite piece of work I've ever created. So for it to be recognised and get attention like that is awesome. So yeah, thank you.
So if you don't follow, go and follow Adam. What is it? Just Adam Southwell on Instagram? Yeah,
So boring.
simple as that. Yeah, go follow him on everything. Make some very, very cool stuff. So yeah, cheers, mate. I appreciate that a lot. I'll see you soon. So that's it for the first ever episode of the Content Cap. Let me know down below if you enjoyed it and if you want to see more. Shout out to Adam for coming on and chatting to me. Go and check out his work, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Content Cap. Sick.
Thank you.